So, kind of going along the lines of having an elevator pitch, being able to build that network for yourself, being able to communicate with people effectively, to reach out to people, know your needs, and really build a community for yourself. You know, we all we've heard the statistics about Gen Y. We're bouncing around to jobs more than any generation has before us. The thing that's going to stick with us when our job doesn't is the network that we're creating, right? So the women, the relationships, both male and female, that we build and that we create, that's what's going to transfer from job to job, not necessarily to job. The job isn't going to based on the research of how many times we switch jobs, but that network that you build will be there to support you, will be there to guide you, will be there to help elevate you, and eventually those will be connections where you start developing your own business and your own success. It's funny, you know, when you first graduate, you just think that they're friends, that these are amazing people to know, that they're really talented, whatever, and then you get a few years down the road and you're like, wait, we could partner here, or we could build this there, and they start to become business contacts as well. So the more you build your network and do it now, it's going to be super beneficial for you. And then the last slide that we have on here is kind of what I mentioned to Molly about with getting really comfortable reaching out blindly. My career has been forever changed because of two of these cold calls. The first was growing up, you know, being a teenager, loving sports, having always played sports, being an athlete. The one and only thing that I wanted was the coveted ESPN internship, where 60,000 people apply and 20 kids get it. Nobody gets it. And that's what I wanted. And that's what I wanted to be able to do. Unfortunately, I didn't know anyone at ESPN. I grew up in Texas, ESPN's in Connecticut. I had no connections from my family, no friends of friends, nothing. I had no connection to ESPN. So I decided that I would join the Association of Women in Sports Media, download the directory, and highlight this god-awfully huge directory of women. Every single woman that worked for ESPN. I went through and I highlighted her. I was like 19 years old doing this. Because I was determined. Like, I was going to make a contact for myself at ESPN because I wanted that freaking internship. And so I had an agenda, but I also just wanted to know. So anyways, I come across the senior vice president of ESPN. Her name's Rosa Gaddy. She is the highest ranked woman in the company. And I saw that she went to Villanova, so I was hoping that she would know Lehigh, because we're both in Pennsylvania, our colleges. And when I started to research her a little bit, I realized this is a woman that I need to know how and what she did, right? How did she get to the top? And so I sent her this blind email, just like, I would love to hear about your experiences, kind of like what Molly said. I did a couple different I had her email, so that's a different email, I'll tell you later, of how you find emails. It's a really good trick. But, so this one I had her email from the directory. Anyways, I sent her the cold email, long story short. She picks up the phone and calls me, and we have multiple phone conversations. She says that she loves everything that I'm about, and the fact that I reached out to her and like took that initiative. She put my resume in the hands of every single person hiring for an intern, and I got that internship. And so that was, she to this day, 2 months ago I had breakfast with her in San Francisco 6 years later. She's still a very, very close mentor of mine. And it all came from a cold email. And there really is power in that when you do it right and when you take the time to build those relationships, and it can come from something totally blind. The second email was this job. I found Levo because I was working on a book proposal that was about Gen Y women in mentorship and the issues of Gen Y women in business and what we're facing. And somebody told me that they heard Amanda and Caroline speak at a conference, so I was like, I'm finding them because they built a company off of what my book proposal was. So I did some Google stalking and tracked them down and just sent, very personal emails, and then tracked down the managing editor and said, like, I want to write for you guys, and then one thing to another, and I'm literally standing in my dream job right now. So it can all come from just building your network and from some cold emails. And the way that you do that, literally it's going to be awkward. It's never going to be that comfortable. You're probably going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get a ton of non-responses. But the ones that do respond are the ones that have that helping nature. They're going to be the ones where you probably end up building a relationship. Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, we have the democratization of social contact going on. You can tweet Sheryl Sandberg, you know, like you can tweet anybody. You can LinkedIn message most people depending on your account, but you get what I'm saying. Like there's the ability to reach people that we could never reach before. Use it. Use it to your advantage. Just make it personal and have an ask and keep it short. And if you email somebody, that's a really good trick. And people do it to me, and I love that they do it because I get so many emails I can't even keep my head on straight. And there's a lot of emails that I really do want to respond to, and somehow they just get lost. And it wasn't because when I read it, I didn't love that email so much in that moment. I have people tweet to me, hey, did you get my email? It's not annoying. I actually love it. Because I'm like, thank you. And in that moment, I'm reminded immediately that I missed that email. And it's normally from women who are just wanting to connect or wanting to pick my brain, or I think it's a great tactic. I think all of you should use it. And everything that Molly said about like just doing, I call it Google stalking. I'm the best Google stalker ever. I can find anybody. You don't want to be my ex-boyfriend. I'm really good. And no, you just, a trick that I was told though recently that I never knew about because I would do it all separately. Say you want to find Gina Miller at AOL.com. Say she runs AOL as a made-up person. You could do Gina.Miller at AOL.com. You could do Gmiller at AOL.com. You can look for press contacts and mirror. You guys know how to do this. Mirror the way that it's set up. But the trick that I heard that I didn't know about that I thought was amazing is put one of them into the to or to the CC, and then put all the different versions if you're guessing, all the different versions in the BCC. Because then they just see that it came to one, they'll probably think, oh, it went through anyways. I know people who've had a ton of success with that, and I thought it was super smart. So I thought I would share. Does anybody have any really great cold calling stories? Yeah.
I guess the funniest one I got was, I'm in conservation ecology, so it's not quite business stuff. So in my field, honestly, everyone has their email just out there on the webpage.
That's how I am. Like I tweet my email to everybody.
Like, you know,
like the easiest
contact page. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's who I want to email.
Yeah.
But so one of them, all I could find was this email for a random professor at University of Illinois, and I email her, and she emails back, "Why are you emailing me? What is this program?" I'm like, okay, never mind.
All right. Anyways, and that's where you're just like, do you have anyone that you suggest I do talk to? Because at least she responded.
Yeah. So that was my most awkward response.
And that's the thing is like you're gonna get awkward responses, or you're gonna get people that you don't want to talk to. I will say, if you're blind emailing anyone, make sure you know their gender. Yes. You think I'm kidding? Until you get on the phone with the head of NFL talent, who you've been emailing with, Jamie, who should be this really lovely woman. And there's a man's voice on the other end of the line. And then you're so preoccupied, you can't even have a really beneficial conversation. Because it's like, I was going through every email. Did I ever say like, hey lady, or miss, or something? Yeah, figure out their gender somehow. Don't assume. Don't assume, because I've assumed a couple times, and that was probably one of the biggest mess ups for me because it was a really big phone call, and he may not have ever known, but I was really preoccupied because the whole time I thought it was a woman. And I share that with love of how I screwed up. But it's something important to note when you're cold emailing, calling, whatever, because we work off the internet so many times. It's easy to miss with like the Jamies or I'm sure there are other names. Does anybody have any questions about how, what, when? Yeah.
Okay, this might be too specific, but
No, it's fine.
when you're networking, and let's say that you're approaching a male, I've had several situations where it's like it's totally professional, but they said
Inappropriate things.
Inappropriate things, or like I want to build a professional relationship, but they just don't have any interest in professional relationships.
Then you just have to like stay away from it. It's happened to me. I play dumb. I act like I didn't hear them. I don't laugh. I don't play into it. And then it's like, get me the F out, like real quick. Because it's just not anything you want to be a part of. No, it's gonna happen. It's happened probably to all of us. Yeah, you just run. Then play dumb and then run. Just don't play into it, whatever you do.
And if it's someone that you have to work with, like if it's like a supervisor or something, then just like report it, or like
I mean, I think there's a lot of value in having a lot of transparent conversations, but I think that's where you can absolutely get HR involved. Because if it's to a point where it's making you feel uncomfortable, there's strict policies and guidelines in any company implemented for those kind of situations. Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to get HR involved whatsoever. So, yeah.
What do you put for subject lines? That's where I want to show.
Subject lines?
Subject. I want to meet Sammy.
Like the company's name, probably like if I wanted to meet the founders of Levo, and it's like Levo League, / I think you rock. Like just, I mean, it really could be anything, but like hi, a lot of times looks like spam.
Yeah.
But if you put like the company name, you know,
Yeah.
or like interested in marketing, or it would depend on the situation.
Well, yeah, but like, how do you, like, is interested in marketing Sammy sounding? Well, like, I don't know.
Or like
It's not
your marketing expertise, or
you know,
yeah. What situation? Do you have a specific situation in mind?
No, this is really general because I have lots of different.
I think putting the company name. Anytime I see Levo in a subject line, I know what we're talking about off the bat. You know? And so even if they want to talk to me about me and my experiences, it's fine because I mean, you get what they're getting at, but they know that I work for Levo and they're interested in Levo, and like, it's just a very generic, easy subject line. Yeah. Anybody else? We have a couple more minutes. Yeah. Anything that has come to mind in all of this? I just want to make sure I'm not losing anything. You can come up to me and ask after. Yeah?
I guess my question is, does Levo have any resources for women not interested in going into the business world?
Yeah, we are partners with Miss JD, which is law. We're partners with Women in Code, developing, tech, engineering. Like, we have all kinds of, it's not just business, but when you look at business in the sense of achievement, and in that world of making money, essentially, yeah, it's, what field are you thinking specifically?
I mean, I'm interested in conservation and sustainability, community outreach and education.
Yeah, and literally this community becomes stronger and bigger because the differences of fields and professions and things that women are interested in. I want to put up the website real quick for you guys. I'm hoping, here's my tool. Let's see, is it over here? I'm not going to be connected to you. Okay, just kidding. So it's levoleague.com, but I'm going to follow up with you guys. Sign up. I promise you. It will be all of the career resources that you need as you go into the work world and as you grow. Levo has the things to grow with you. And thank you for being so wonderful and engaged, and I hope this was helpful. So, yeah, thanks. This was fun.
So thanks everyone for coming. Maxie has agreed to stay around for a bit. If you have
I'm
any
here.
questions, so go ahead and ask her if you want. And it's our last event of the semester, so we hope to see you all after break. Thanks guys.
Yay!